$19.99 Jeep Cherokee Sport. We gotta do an eviction today on some mice that are taking up some residency here in the Jeep because we gotta fix a water leak. We're opening up this treasure chest to reveal a rat's nest. Look at this nonsense. But more importantly is this fresh air intake. This is where the water has been leaking around the edge of this fresh air intake, dripping down through the ventilation system onto the passenger side floorboards and turning it into the Great Swamp. So let's see if we pull some of this back. Who knows, maybe a mouse is gonna jump out of here. Look at this nonsense. See this little like rain diverter thing? I just cut this off because on this year model that I have, this is a 1999 Jeep Cherokee Sport, it wasn't being used. I think water would go down through these little holes into the chute, and then that is supposed to move through. And there inside of the fender here, there is a drain hole on the inside that's probably clogged up with needles. But like I was saying on my version here, this was taped off with a piece of tape. I pulled it off earlier, but this wasn't even being utilized. So I just cut this whole thing out so I could cut this open further this direction, because this is really hard to reach in. I want to caulk all around this fresh air inlet, and to get back in there, right, I'm gonna have to reach under here with some silicone or that type of thing to get around this whole deal. Now I want to show you, if we look down, see right there in the corner? Now there is standing water in some little pocket in the corner. So water definitely is traveling in from the outside here, you know, through this edge. The only thing sealing that edge is some open celled foam right here, and that is definitely not working too well. If we look on the other side here, see, this is all full of pine needles as well, and I'm sure this is all clogged up as well. I'm trying to get some light down there for you guys to see, but I'm gonna have to get the vacuum down there, maybe poke around. Look, there's some sprouts growing in there. What is this, like a... You see this area back here on the other side of this fresh air inlet? That's really hard to get your hand over the top of that. So my thought is that this doesn't need to be this high on this side or even the whole thing, but what I'm gonna do is come in with the Dremel multi-tool here, and I'm gonna cut this down a little bit so I can reach over the edge and I can seal that with some sealant. Now I can reach back here, I can get out. Look at all these pine needles back there. Nurse, we're gonna need some Novocaine here on 18. Looks like we're gonna have to do a root canal. A little acetone on the brush, and I'm just gonna clean around this edge. I am liking that. I got this nice and clean all the way around. So that's great. Sealing this, I was gonna go with the silicone, but decided to step it up, go with the 3M 5200. And I'm just gonna pump some of this out where I can, and then where I can't reach, I'll just have to do it with my finger. Nurse, get the giant syringe of Novocaine. This kid's squirming around. I'm also going to seal up the inside seam with some of the 5200 just because that open-celled foam is all dry rot. The next day, and yes, unfortunately last night I was cleaning out the other side and I was blowing that out with the air nozzle, and it blew a confetti of pine needles and junk all into my nice fresh caulking. So what looked great at one time now looks a little messy, but no worries, it's all covered up here. So, looking good. I got the whole inside sealed. The outside is sealed. I am liking that. And now it is time to push this back and seal this over. I've got a little piece of galvanized steel that I just cut inside on the brake. So I am going to put that right about there. Pinch this with the vice grips. I'm going to put a little silicone right where I'm putting this pop rivet in. Clean this whole area with some acetone. All right, now I'm just fitting a piece of this butyl tape to go over the top. Just kind of tracing it with my finger. And then I can cut this with some scissors so I have a nice tight fit. Okay, before I put this in, I am gonna put a bead of silicone on this entire seam. All right, I'm getting ready to put this grill back on the top. And you can see on this grill that on this driver's side, there are holes, and the water, the majority of the water comes through this side, where this side is sealed tight, not necessarily super tight. Some water does still get through. It can get through where the windshield washer hose comes through there. And even these little screw connections. So another option, what you can do to prevent this water that's on this side from drifting that way, is to put a little dam right back here. So You can see in there, I cleaned with some acetone right there. And I'm gonna put this little piece down in there. I'm gonna silicone this in. So I gave you some dimensions, 3 7/8 on the top, 3 9/16 on the bottom. I got a 10-degree cut on the miter saw on the right-hand side. It's 1.5 inches tall, and this is like 3/4 of an inch thick. This is some PVC board that you can use for trim, that kind of thing. So I am going to silicone this in as a little dam, and this will prevent some of the water from washing that way and just keep minimal water on that side. All right, so I'm gonna load this up with silicone. And this could be the quick, easy fix for a lot of people who have this problem with the water coming in to the passenger side floor. Instead of cutting through the top, this might be a nice alternative to prevent all that water from flowing down into the car. I know a lot of people have this problem. All right, this is kind of a tough camera angle to see what I'm doing. My hand's probably gonna get in the way. All right, I will zoom in for you here so you can get a closer look at the little dam I just put in there. So see, that's siliconed in there, and you can see, if I get this to focus, you can see that little black kind of plastic stud sticking out there on the left. I have it right up against that stud, and that seems like a good position to put this so that this arm doesn't hit the block. It's far enough towards the passenger side so it's not in the way. But I think this is kind of a nice thing to prevent the majority of the water that comes through here from sloshing over that way. This might be a fix for the whole thing, but you know, I got both things going on here. All right, I got this all back on. I did put some silicone on the holes and on the screws here as these went in to kind of seal the hole as these screws go in, because that could be a potential leak right there. I was almost thinking of leaving those out and just putting some double stick tape under here, some of that really strong stuff. And if you are wondering about getting these windshield wiper arms on and off, it's pretty easy. See this little tab right here? All you do is put a screwdriver underneath this, pry that up, and then these pop off. Put it back on and push that tab down. All right, folks, ready to cut your car open like a tin can? I think this is a pretty good fix. I have good feelings that this is going to work and it's going to solve this problem where, you know, you come into the Jeep, you look on the passenger side floor, and you know, you got a ton of water over there. Gilligan's Island, the boat has sank. All right, let me know if you've already done this fix, this type of thing, and it's worked for you, if you've sealed up that fresh air inlet. I'm pretty confident that this is going to work. I'll leave something in the comments. I'll update in the comments how this fix turned out in the long haul. You guys do the same thing. I got lots to fix on this Jeep. I've changed just about every sensor on that throttle body. I got some stalling issue on this thing. When I come to a stop sign or a stop, low idle, the thing just drops down. I've changed every sensor in this damn Jeep. All right, whatever. Hope you guys are doing great, and I'll see y'all soon. Right on. Oh, what? Mr. Howell's asking where the radio is? All right, I gotta go, guys. I'll see you later. Watch your top knot.